Hey friends, Mark Holmes here. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, man, this doesn't work. Been sitting here for a few minutes, just trying to think of what to say. I spent time with my buddy E2 Blue and his wife, and met his mother and his son E2 Blue and a half. And as we were sitting there, the word came through about the 20 people that were killed today and the 26 others plus that were injured. And I pray for all of the victims and all the people that will have to live with the images and the memories of this and the losses. But I also pray for us as a society, because let's face it, by Tuesday this is going to be forgotten. Another senseless mass murder, just forgotten. We are so full of hatred these days. Everybody has, if you're not agreeing with me, then it's F you. And you see this in everything, even sports. Sports used to be the bastion of where people would get along. Sports was a place that would bring about change in society. Sports was the great equalizer. But I see how some of the Tony Romo fans can be against the Dak Prescott fans, that literally we're ready to go over blows about, who should have been the starting quarterback and who stole a job and so forth and things. And guys, listen, I said this as a motto, and maybe I do need to put on a shirt. See, I love to debate. I love to have an argument. I love to put together facts, and I love to prove you wrong. But just because I prove you wrong and I have a difference of opinion doesn't mean that we have to be enemies. I love the debate, but I hate the hate. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, or hell, a frickin' Martian. We all have the same desires. We all want to succeed. We all want to be able to make money. We want to be able to see our kids do better than we did. We all want to go to sleep at night at peace and have a nice place to sleep. Everybody's the same. It's kind of like, I remember this picture on Instagram. They had two frying pans. In one frying pan, they had an uncracked white egg, and in the other frying pan, they had a brown egg that was uncracked. Then the next picture was the same pans with the eggs cracked open. And you know what was in both of the pans? Inside? A yellow yolk. And the rest of it was clear. Identical. People are people. And we got to stop this hate, man. This is just, it's senseless. It's I talk trash about the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins and stuff, but I got no animosity against the players per se or the fans. But more times than not, immediately, just like me going to Redskin camp, how dare you go there? You're talking to a Redskin fan? You're not a real Cowboy fan. You're a piece of crap. Really, dude? That's the fun of football. Because We go to FedEx Field, and I see Skins fan all day. I see Ed Oliver and the Cowboys kick their butts. You don't think that I'm not gonna have fun riding their backs? You don't think that? You don't think if the Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles twice more that I'm not gonna ride Philly 500 and have a good time doing it? The same way if Philadelphia happens to luck out and beat us, that he's gonna ride me. That's what football's about, y'all. It's not about making enemies and going to war any more than everyday stuff. We got to stop this, man. We got to stop. We got to make changes, man. This is just crazy. Every other day it seems like we hear about another mass shooting, man. It saddens me. It really does. I don't even feel like talking about my Cowboys right now. We got day number 7 of practice in the books for the Cowboys. We got a lot of veterans that are having time off. We got Zach Martin with basically an irritated disc. They're gonna give him basically rest and therapy. I know I've had some back issues. I've had 3 slip discs in my back before. I've had pinched nerves in my back. I've had shots in my back. I've had steroid packs where you have a series of like 7 pills you take the first day, 6 pills the next day, 5, and so on and so forth. And I learned for me personally, when my back starts to act up, for me, I'm not saying this for everybody, if I just stay off of it, it gets worse and locks up. The first time my back bothered me, I said, you know what, I'm going to go lay down. My back hurts. And I laid in bed for a couple of days because we had been putting up lay-in light fixtures. I had about 40 of them. And when we were doing them, I would stand up on the ladder and I would just sling them up with one arm. So it was kind of a whipping action like this. To boom, get it up in there, boom, drop it in place, hook them on. And my back tightened up to the point where getting out of the bed, I literally peed on myself just trying to get my feet on the floor to get to the bathroom because it hurt that bad. So for me, what I've learned is I have to work through it. The last time my back really acted up was about 3 years ago when I was building a house for my dad. And I mixed 72 bags of cement by hand to build these steps that went down the side of the hill. 16 steps. Tommy the moron saw me do that, so if he's on here, he'll testify that I did that. But going through that, I was able to work out the kinks and everything else and got my back in shape. So they'll be working on his back. Hopefully this is something that, maybe a week or 2 or so that it'll get right. It won't be aggravated and maybe he'll be able to get back to practice. But you'll remember last year, Zach Martin hurt his knee in training camp and didn't work out the rest of training camp. And you saw the season that he had, although he did have 2 games that he missed because of injuries to that knee later on, but he still played at an all-pro level. We got a bunch of veterans that are having days off. Sean Lee, of course, he's nicked up with his knee, and some other veterans, and they're trying to take it easy on some of the veterans. They know basically what they're doing and giving the opportunities for some of these younger guys to play. And of course, there's the elephant in the room, Zeke Elliott. Tomorrow's the 4th of August. You got Monday the 5th, and if he's not here by Tuesday, he loses another year of his freedom, and the Cowboys own his rights. And that day's going to be telling. I think back to DeMarcus Lawrence, who, said, I'm not getting my shoulder worked on until I get a new contract. And after the fact, they asked him, were you going to sit out the year if you did not get the new contract? He was like, yeah, buddy, I ain't leaving money on the table. I would have come in. And that's where we have to wonder where we're looking at with Zeke. Last night, if you watched the live stream, I went through looking at running backs, and there's only 31 running backs in the history of the NFL over 10,000 yards. And when you start seeing some of these guys like Roger Craig that only have like 8,000 yards in their career, Zeke Elliott is already there. You start looking at a guy like Terrell Davis, who had really just 4 good years. Zeke Elliott sees the writing on the wall that my position is not a very long-lasting career. Yeah, you can get some glory, but you're not going to be there in your 30s. And so he's just trying to get his while he still has an opportunity. The reality is, if the Cowboys keep him on his contract this year and next year, pretty much his career is on the tail end side. There are very few backs that are productive after that 4th year. I talked about the power of 4 with Dak Prescott. 4th year is the year that quarterbacks generally take that big step. Well, the 4th year is generally that big year that the NFL running backs have. And then after that, more times than not, it's downhill from there on out. So you could be looking at a monster season from Zeke Elliott, but after that, it might not be quite as good. And that's just the way it is. So I'm going to end this up right here. Just don't feel like talking much tonight. For all you touched by this violence out there, this is for you. I'm Mark Holmes, and it's time to turn off the lights. I think I'm going to go to bed. I'll see you guys in the morning, hopefully.